The European Union's EU strategy to diversify its energy imports by engaging with reliable liquefied natural gas (LNG) suppliers, including potential investments in Canadian LNG projects, could have significant implications for US-EU trade relations. EU's diversification efforts, in response to geopolitical tensions and a desire to reduce reliance on Russian gas, the EU has been actively seeking to broaden its energy import sources. A draft Commission document from February 2025 indicates the EU's intent to immediately engage with LNG suppliers and consider investments in LNG projects abroad to secure more stable and diversified energy supplies. Reuters. Canada's potential role. Canada, with its abundant natural gas reserves, emerges as a potential key player in fulfilling the EU's energy diversification goals. The Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA, between the EU and Canada, provisionally enforced since 2017, has already enhanced trade relations, with goods exports from the EU to Canada increasing by 27% and imports rising by 32%. European Parliament. While Canada currently lacks operational LNG export infrastructure, projects like LNG Canada, expected to commence operations in Kitimat, British Columbia, by 2025, are poised to serve international markets, potentially including the EU. IISD impact on US-EU trade relations. The EU's move to diversify its energy imports could influence its trade dynamics with the United States in several ways. Market share competition. The US has been a primary LNG supplier to the EU, especially after the EU reduced its reliance on Russian gas. In 2023, US LNG accounted for approximately 47% of the EU's imports. Squire Patton Boggs increased imports from Canada could lead to a reduced market share for US LNG in Europe. Trade balance adjustments. A shift in the EU's energy sourcing could affect the trade balance between the US and the EU. Reduced energy exports from the US might lead to a decrease in the overall trade surplus that the EU holds with the US, potentially impacting broader economic relations. Policy and regulatory responses. The U.S. administration, under President Donald Trump, has shown a propensity for implementing tariffs and trade measures in response to trade imbalances. A significant reduction in U.S. energy exports to the EU could prompt discussions of reciprocal tariffs or other trade policies affecting EU goods and services. Financial Times. In summary, while the EU's engagement with Canadian LNG suppliers aims to enhance its energy security and diversification, it introduces new dynamics into transatlantic trade relations. The potential reduction in U.S. energy exports to the EU could lead to economic and policy adjustments, underscoring the interconnected nature of global energy markets and international trade policies.